We have new information about the deadly fire at a house owned by a Bakersfield attorney. We have the latest details about the blaze that claimed a portion of the Notre Dame Cathedral in Paris. And you have the opportunity to enjoy a great barbecue lunch for a wonderful cause. This is 17 News at Noon. Good afternoon and thanks for joining us. I'm Alex Fisher. Just into our newsroom, we've learned the man killed in a house fire over the weekend was William Ganong, the son of prominent marijuana attorney Phil Ganong. This home owned by Phil Ganong went up in flames after midnight Saturday on the 2400 block of Beach Street. William Ganong's body was found inside. 5 other people were displaced. Phil Ganong said he was devastated by his son's death and is fondly remembering his son for helping those addicted to drugs. Arson investigators have not determined what caused the fire. All lanes of Highway 178 are open after being shut down for a period of time this morning. CHP says it all happened after a car crash sent a pickup truck over the side of the mountain. The truck ended up partly in the water and on top of some rocks. Only minor injuries were reported. Officers ended up closing the road after they had to retrieve that pickup truck. All lanes reopened about 40 minutes ago. A highway patrol sergeant who was struck and killed by a DUI suspect during a traffic stop earlier this month is being remembered right now. This was the scene about 2 hours ago as a long line of motorcycle officers followed a hearse carrying the body of Sergeant Steve Lycon to his memorial service. Sergeant Lycon had been pulled over a car when the man driving a gray car slammed into Lycon and his motorcycle. Paramedics airlifted him to the hospital where he died of his injuries. Sergeant Lycon was a 27-year veteran of the force. He leaves behind a wife, daughter, and a stepdaughter. Officers arrested the driver of the car. He now faces the possibility of several charges, including murder. Firefighters are on standby in case yesterday's fire that damaged parts of Paris's Notre Dame starts again. With the loss of the cathedral's roof, the structure is unstable, and there's a fear among French officials that there could be a partial collapse. NBC's Richard Engel has more from Paris.
The Cathedral of Notre Dame still stands, but without her elegant spire, burned away by a devastating fire.
For me, Notre Dame is probably as many as for Americans, it's a mother. And suddenly you feel your mother has been hurt by the fire.
While an investigation is still ongoing, French officials are so far calling the blaze unintentional. They suspect it started around 6:30 Monday night among scaffolding at the base of the spire. But the flames spread quickly across the medieval roof. Made of so many timbers, it was nicknamed the Forest. The heat kept building and rising until...
Oh my God, these people just fell inside the church. Oh my God.
The spire came crashing down into the church's interior, fanning the flames even further. Around 400 firefighters finally contained the flames enough to go inside. Firefighters announced they'd managed to save the structure. Notre Dame would survive. And they said major works of art and relics, including the Holy Crown of Thorns, were saved. French President Emmanuel Macron told the nation the worst has been avoided. Notre Dame will be rebuilt, he said, because it is what the French people expect and what their history deserves. Around 100 firefighters are still on standby here in case the fire starts again. But the big concern right now, according to French officials, is that once pieces of this cathedral have been removed, especially the roof, that there could be a further shift and that it's not over yet. Richard Engel, NBC News, Paris.
United Kingdom's Westminster Abbey bells chimed today in solidarity with France following yesterday's Notre Dame Cathedral fire. The bells at Westminster Abbey rang out at 5:43, marking the time the fire broke out at the Notre Dame. Another reminder to work up an appetite for lunch tomorrow. We're teaming up with the Bakersfield Homeless Center to raise money for families it helps. Now, you're taking a look at video from last year. The barbecue is happening from 11 a.m. until 2 p.m. right outside our KGET studios at 22nd and M Street. So you can pick up a burger, chips, cookie, and a drink. It's all for $5. And then for another $5, you can enter a raffle to win a 60-inch TV and a Blu-ray player. If you want to buy more than 10 lunches, you can call 322-9199 by the end of today. Flight 37 for Honor Flight Kern County is on its way to our nation's capital. Another group of veterans departed Meadows Field early this morning. They're heading to see the monuments and memorials built in their honor. And 17's Tabitha Mills is traveling with them to document their stories to share with you. She spoke with some veterans this morning who say they've never been to Washington, D.C., and this trip is a journey they've wanted to take for decades. Tabitha will have reports on the whirlwind tour from our nation's capital over the next 3 days, right on 17 News at sunrise. A new recall we want to warn you about. Mondelez Global is voluntarily recalling certain chewy chips Ahoy 13-ounce cookies. In a statement, the company says the cookies could potentially contain an unexpected solidified ingredient. It's unclear what exactly that is, but the company says it has received some reports of potential adverse health effects. The recall involves 13-ounce Chips Ahoy cookies sold nationwide, with best when used by dates of September 7th through the 8th, 14th, and 15th of this year. If you still have the product, you're urged to discard the cookies and return them to the store for a full refund. The Hagen Oaks Farmers Market is coming a bit early this week. It usually happens on Sundays, but because Easter is on Sunday, it's happening on Friday. Instead, you can head to the Farmers Market on Friday from 2 to 7 p.m. It's in the Kaiser Permanente parking lot on Ming Avenue. Well, welcome back to your 17 Business Watch and checking stocks. The Dow is up about 80 points. NASDAQ up 33. S&P 500 is up 4. Meantime, checking oil prices. West Texas Intermediate is at $64, 4 cents a barrel, and Midway Sunset is at $68.39 a barrel. New documents obtained by NBC News shows Facebook used data as a bargaining chip, despite saying that privacy is a priority. NBC's Stephanie Gosk has the details.
Facebook under new scrutiny this morning. More than 4,000 documents obtained by NBC News from a court case against the company lift the curtain on Facebook's business practices between 2011 and 2015. One employee even comparing the company to villains in Game of Thrones, as the social media giant looked for ways to grow its business and cut losses. Top executives at the company, including CEO Mark Zuckerberg and COO Sheryl Sandberg, discussed ways to sell user data. In 2012, documents show Zuckerberg wanted to figure out the real market value of user data to set a public rate, a plan seemingly at odds with Zuckerberg's public message.
We offer these extremely robust privacy controls where, literally any piece of information that you share, you control exactly who sees it.
Ultimately, Facebook says it never sold data, but it did trade information with other companies.
Facebook is being strategic in terms of trading user data in order to get, stuff in return.
The documents show that Facebook allowed special access to data for companies described as friends of Zuckerberg, like Amazon, which received special treatment in June of 2013 because it was a Facebook advertiser, while another messaging app seen as a competitor to Facebook Messenger was restricted from accessing Facebook's data. Facebook says the documents were cherry-picked from a court case involving a little-known startup, writing, "The sets of documents by design tells only one side of the story and omits important context. We still stand by the platform changes we made in 2014-2015. Facebook has made a greater push to address privacy issues, like the data of 87 million users that was improperly shared with political consulting firm Cambridge Analytica, to put Zuckerberg in the hot seat on Capitol Hill.
It was my mistake, and I'm sorry. I started Facebook, I run it, and at the end of the day, I'm responsible for what happens here.
Still, some say Facebook's past attempts to trade and sell user data raise more questions.